Do some more talk today. Trump talk, politics, more talk about ICE and stuff, the troops, all that. Current updates on that. As soon as some people get up in here, I'm gonna start letting it roll. We're gonna start having some discussions. As soon as some more folk get here, I'm talking about. Some more folks. Got my resources up a little better now. Like I said, I've been hustling. Got my resources up a little bit better. Bringing some better lives for y'all. What's going on? What's going on? Give me a like you did. I appreciate you. I'm talking about Trump. Trump basically wants to take over. He wants to assert his governmental control over Washington D.C., the capital, for up to like a month, with extensions if necessary. Basically, there's a lot of crime going on in Washington D.C. right now, and he wants to assert his control and dominance. The mayor is against it in Washington D.C. He said he wants to. He posted about it on. He posted about it on Twitter, something like that. He wants to make Washington D.C. great again. Anyway, as soon as some more people get up in here, I'm gonna continue speaking about that. Had somebody here, they bounced out on me, but yeah. As soon as I get some more people in here, I'm gonna start talking more about Trump. Got some more updates on what Trump's doing to implement his certain little policies and laws and all that. As soon as I get some more people in here, share the live, y'all. I'm talking about Trump and all the different politics right now. Different politics, whatever else I can grasp my mind on that would entertain a larger audience. Yeah. As soon as I get some more people up in here, Trump is asserting his control. What am I doing? Yeah, as soon as I get some more people in here, I'm gonna start talking more about Trump. More Trump talk. More Trump talk, y'all. More Trump talk. He's asserting his control in Washington D.C., the city, the freaking state's capital, the nation's capital. Excuse me, Washington D.C. There's been a lot of crimes. Well, according to the Trump administration, there's been a lot of crimes lately in Washington D.C. Actually, one of his officials was attacked recently. I don't know too much about that, but one of his officials was attacked recently, and this has authorized him, or basically motivated him, to want to basically take control of the Washington D.C. Police Department. He wants to regulate. He wants to put it underneath regular federal jurisdiction for up to like a month, and he would extend it after a month if necessary, if he sees fit, on certain circumstances. So basically, Trump wants to place the Washington Police Department, D.C. Police Department, underneath federal control, and possibly will extend it after 30 days if he sees fit, or he finds some kind of legal grounds for extension. He will take advantage, believe me. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a little more about ICE too out here. Got some more updates about ICE. What's going on, Jaws boy? What's going on, man? What's going on? Thanks for joining live. Transform. What's going on? Give me a like if you're in there. Raise my likes. I'm talking about our dictator, out here in the U.S. Our dictator Trump. You know what I'm talking about? Give me a like if you want to hear about that Trump talk and other politics that's going on out here in L.A. Also with the ICE immigration. I got some more updates. Got a little bit more updates. Push up them likes. Subscribe if you want to hear more of this. And share the live. Don't be stingy. Share it to your folks. Trump, like I said, I don't know when exactly he's going to initiate it, but he's going to place the Washington D.C. Police Department underneath federal control, underneath his control, because he sees basically that there's been a lot of violence over there. Crimes hasn't really slowed down, so he wants to place the nation's capital police right, out there in Washington, D.C. underneath federal control for at least like 30 days, and he might extend it if he sees necessary. Also, he wants to set up troops. He wants to employ troops, deploy troops out there as well in Washington, D.C. He wants to put a lot of things underneath federal authority to get what he considered is a mess with crimes and stuff out there, and he's going to take advantage of that real soon. He tweeted about this on Twitter, talking about make Washington, D.C. great again. This dude is a clown, man. I don't like his dictatorship, but he's funny, man. He's crafty, though. You got to give him. He's funny at times. He's a natural comedian. And he want to make Washington, D.C. What you think about making Washington, D.C. great again? What y'all think about that? If you like this live, Donald Trump doing what he can. He doing what he can do from Washington, D.C. That's for Washington, D.C. Yeah, he doing what he can do for Washington, D.C. Yeah, that's what he doing in Washington, D.C., man. He wants a place that the mayor is against. I forget her name. It's a female. It's a lady. I forget her name, but she's against it. She made some comments about it, talking about, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Our crimes are just fine out here. We're doing fine just without you. She's against it. But, you know, it's underneath, it's not within her jurisdiction, because it's something about a law, something a law, he's allowed to do that according to some kind of law. If it's like some kind of a public threat, emergency threat within, you know, like a city or whatever, then he can put the police department underneath his control, underneath this law. You know, for up to like 30 days, and he can be granted, you know, extensions based off a legal basis if he wanted to extend it. You know, also he can deploy troops out there according to emergency situation. So his excuse for deploying troops out there and to place the police department underneath his federal control is that the crimes are outrageous out there. Like the robberies are up, you know, the murders, the assaults with deadly weapons, and all that stuff. Abuse of, you know, abuse, all that stuff is up out there. So he's using that as an excuse, you know, for him to be able to implement, putting the police department underneath his, you know, federal control and deploying the troops out there. That's what he's using right now. That's his legal basis. The crimes are, you know, skyrocketing, and he needs to place that place underneath his federal control and make the great, you know, the great capital of this nation great again, basically. That's what he's doing out there, Washington, D.C. The mayor is defiant with it. She's not in compliance with it, but she doesn't have no choice. But he only has like 30 days to do it, unless he's granted another. I don't know when he's going to implement this, but he only can last for 30 days unless he's granted the extension on these legal basis. No, it's not about a clown taking up all my mental space. It's that, you know, I'm a YouTuber, right? I'm an up and rising YouTuber, and this needs to be discussed. And on top of that, you know, I feel like politics, you know, as long as it's not abusing of it or whatever, I feel like it needs to be discussed. So, you know, to let the world and the YouTube world, of course, what's going, you know, to inform y'all what's going on out here right now with Trump, you know, in our nation as well. Sometimes I talk about international stuff as well. I was just talking about Gaza the other day, you know, the war with Gaza. And I don't just talk about Trump. I talk about a lot of different politics and wars and stuff that's going on in our country, you know, across the world. Gaza, the Palestinians, you know, been going at it with Israel for the last like almost 2 years. In October marks the second anniversary of the war. You know, that war is still going on. Israel, you know, the Jewish people, they're whooping on them right now. They're whooping on Palestinians right now, bad. At first, Palestinians, when the war started off, from my understanding, they hit them big, right? They kidnapped some of the Jewish people and everything, you know, was doing all kind of crazy stuff. It's been bad, though. Lately, or probably for a minute, you know, the Jewish people have had the upper hand on the Palestinians. They over there starving, all kinds of stuff. They doing bad in Gaza, right? In that country over there in the Middle East. You know, Gaza, the city over there in that country with the Palestinians. They're doing bad, you know. They're in need of emergency assistance, food assistance, all kind of stuff. Probably shelter, all kind of stuff right now. I think they're getting help, a lot of assistance by the United Nations and stuff like that. as well as as well as America. Uh, but yeah, I hear you, Earth Heaven. I hear you. Trump is a dictator, man. Some of his policies make sense as far as trying to, reestablish security. Like the way he do certain stuff though is just a little bit intense. Like some things he do, like he put public schools funds for kids on hold, on pause for some reason. It was like over $1 billion of public funds, funds that are allocated through the government, for kids' education. He put that on. They already got it on froze, and it's already flowing smoothly through the system for the kids to have their schooling and all their funds. But at first, like a month ago, he put that on froze. He froze it. He froze the funds that was being allocated from the government towards the kids' schooling. For I don't know what reason. He didn't even give a good elaboration like that. He just did it talking about he trying to preserve money for other, he trying to make sure everything's flowing smoothly. And the only reason why one of the main reasons why he lifted the pressure off of that, or lifted the hold off that, because he had pressure from his own fellow Republicans that was pressuring him. It wasn't with that. It was a good number of them. So that's probably more likely why he uplifted that hold. I don't understand why you gonna put over $1 million. Grab the money from somewhere else if you're trying to balance out money, to try to have a smooth flowing economy. How you gonna mess with the kids' education funds? Put that on frozen, freeze them. No, you don't ever mess with no kids stuff that's for kids. I'm not with all that, man. I'm not with all that. You don't mess with stuff that's educational for kids. I'm not with all that. What lady? Hey, you funny, man. Tony Promise, what's going on, man? Preach, promises. Promise. What's going on? Thanks for going to channel Fabifa B. What's going on? He ain't no cannon at everyone's feet. He is a dictator, man. Anytime somebody do something right, according to their authority, abuse their authority and implement laws, or try to implement laws without having no clear, detailed explanation and causing a lot of chaos behind it, that's a dictatorship, man. That's not caring about how a large volume of people is going to be affected. That's a dictatorship. That's no longer conducting yourself as a president anymore. That's a dictatorship. That's like the third world country type of stuff. Thinking you just you want to rule everything no matter what. I feel like this is causing too much of a distraction. Let's go ahead and end this because I can, without no clear description. That's a dictatorship. Doing things out of the straight will of your power because you can do it. You see fit to it. That's a dictatorship. I need some Kool-Aid right now. I need some Kool-Aid. He would not do anything for no reason. He like I said, man, particular policies that he conducts make sense, right? But some things he just does, it's to the extreme. He fired, I think they already been fired already. He fired civil I think over 1,500 or probably even close to 3,000 federal civil workers that protect their particular duties were to protect the nation's security against foreign threats. Basically, he fired them, over 1,500 of them. So when you're talking about protecting the security of our country, if you have if your purpose is to protect the security of our nation, why are you firing over 1,500 federal civil workers that protect their main goal is to protect the interests of our country? That kind of conflicts then. You can look it up. We did that. It's probably already in effect already. You're probably already getting their paperwork and all that saying you're getting fired, and they put a lawsuit against that. Probably still going on. Yeah, it's a lot of, he has a lot of, it's a lot of discrepancies, a lot of negative weight behind certain things that he are doing. Like I said, some policies make sense. I understand he wants to establish more federal control in Washington, D.C. That is the nation's capital. I agree with that to a degree. I do agree with that. I'm saying I just completely disagree with Trump by everything. Deploying U.S. troops out here in LA, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. You do. Again, back to the security, the national security. You sent freaking over 3,000 personnel, something like that, right, out here to handle a domestic, freaking raidful situation out here in LA, right, on U.S. soil. Prevent them from preparing against, foreign threats, or from protecting our nation's security. So you send troops out here to handle this domestic problem because you think the LAPD can handle it, or sheriffs or whatever can handle it. Okay, but in the number, okay, you already sent, but okay, he sent troops out here. Then he sent the Marines. On top of that, he sent the troops, the Marines, in another group too. I think the National Guard, all dude, all those different branches just to handle this problem out here with ICE, and immigration and stuff. You already got the federal agents on. They had the police to help them out. They got the LAPD and stuff, sheriffs and back police and all them troops out here, wasting resources and stuff. That's not a good balance of resources, man. When it comes to security and the economy and stuff like that, we already going through inflation still. COVID is still upticking now. No, COVID is still back on the rise again, right? COVID ain't disappeared. It might go up and down a little bit. COVID is still around. You walk around, see people still wearing masks and stuff. They still got certain little advertisements talking about COVID, restrictions in certain businesses and stuff. COVID has not disappeared yet. Y'all better strap your faces up and still wash your hands and all that. I'm pretty sure y'all wash your hands after y'all take a dump or whatever the case. You got to carry some hand sanitizer. Don't be all in people's face, laugh, ha ha, yeah, you look good too. What's going on? What you been doing lately? How you getting on? Nah, don't be doing all that. Too much socializing. You can talk to people, but don't be all people face smelling their breath and all that. Back up, they doing that to you. You still gotta, you gotta stay on your feet. You gotta be cautious. You do not want to catch. I didn't caught COVID before. That shit is painful. COVID is no joke, man. I felt like I was freaking I had diarrhea. And I felt like somebody who had a hammer in my head and was banging my head over and over again. That's how bad that COVID was when I first caught it. Somebody was just banging, like some annoying, Chucky doll, just kept hammering in my head, wouldn't let go. That's how that shit felt. And I had diarrhea, explosive diarrhea. And I had a stabbing in my stomach. I just kept fucking with me, like some badass kid. Excuse my language, just kept poking at me or something. It was bad, man. It was bad. That's why I want y'all to protect yourselves. I want y'all to protect yourselves out there. I'm talking about COVID. They got a new variant. The new variant COVID is called razor throat. Something that messes with your throat. So you feel some kind of, if you ain't been real protective of yourself lately, if you could have possibly been exposed to somebody by COVID, you feel some weirdness in your throat for too long, it's not just no fucking sore throat, then that might be razor. You'll get checked out for that COVID. Might be razor blade throat. That's the new variant on the rise in half the states right now. It's been discovered in half the states. So it ain't no damn joke, man. I remember what happened with COVID, the height of the era from 2020 to 2022. You remember shutting stuff down. People was on restrictions, couldn't go outside. You go outside, you're getting caught up by the police, getting arrested, thrown in jail. No questions asked. Well, yeah, protect yourself, because you never know when that might go down again. And COVID is still resurfacing a little bit. Y'all gotta be careful out there. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful. Don't buy into this Western U.S. idea of what a dictator is. The dictator, this dude. That's the dictator. That's what a dictatorship is out here, man. He's a dictator. I'm gonna leave that topic alone. He's a dictator, man. He's not a president anymore. Anybody who talks, dude, he just don't have respect for his position like that, dude. Touching the birthright citizenship amendment that applies to the amendment, the 14th Amendment. No other president has touched that before. Because he was so thirsty with keeping immigrants from coming over here and utilizing the 14th Amendment for birthing their children, so they can be granted birthright citizenship here on U.S. soil. Nobody, he was that thirsty to keep, immigrants, legal immigrants from out of here, that he was willing to touch a 14th Amendment that was been in place since the 1860s, strongly influenced by my ancestors, by this, my ancestors, accessories for my, for my slave ancestors, was strongly influenced by them. And African Americans following after them helped put that in place. You don't know about that? Look it up. 14th Amendment. No disrespect. We put that in place. We helped put that in place. That's there because of us, my ancestors. So of course I'm gonna talk about that prideful. But for him to touch that, to even mess with it, I know you got, I know whatever, man. I know has been a lot of illegal immigrants that's been utilized in that. Whatever. There's other ways to handle situations without you having to touch. I mean, it's just extreme, man. Whatever. He's a dictator. He gonna do what he wants for the most part, right? As long as the federal courts ain't getting involved, something like that. But yeah, or Congress. Yeah. That's what he's doing, man. That's what he's doing. Get off YouTube. Well, he probably did that for a reason. We will tell us soon when he has time. Yeah. What's going on, Haywood? Thanks for joining. What's going on, man? Amir. What's going on, Beverly Nelson? Epstein files. I got a little information about that. I got a little bit information about Epstein files. A little bit. You already know. I talked about this the other live. You already know that Trump, the public wants to hear about his involvement, his friendship with Epstein, right? Back in the 90s, going on from the early 90s, going up, dated up into the early 2000s. Saw on the news that the media has put out a request to gather information from Trump, right? Different sources throughout the media has put out information. I think the Republicans too are putting pressure on his back about what was your relationship like with this guy that was, pretty much charged and convicted, for these type of crimes twice, and in so-called committed suicide back in 2018, right? He hasn't spoken too much about it. Trump has not really said nothing about it publicly. So they're like, why your name keep coming up in these, these different, cases with this P word, this convicted P word? Why your name keep coming up? They want to since you like the leader of our country, you gotta be able to speak about that. What was your involvement with this guy? We're not saying that he was guilty of anything that this dude was doing, but as soon as he found out that he was involved in different little weird stuff with underage girls, he broke off his friendship with them back in like the mid 2000s or something like that. All of a sudden gone. And all of a sudden, like, some a couple of year or whatever surfaced after like 05, and all of a sudden these cases start coming up about him messing around with underage girls and stuff that really, surfaced. But Trump's already out the picture now. He gone. So that's what's going on with the Epstein files right now. Media is putting pressure on Trump's back, along with other, I think, Republicans and stuff, and probably Democrats as well, for him to speak about what his involvement, his friendship was like with Epstein. Epstein's his ex-girlfriend, fiance or whatever, who's also was convicted, right, for trafficking, right? It's in prison. She spoke with the head DA out there in Florida. She had a one-on-one conversation with him about like a month or two ago, at the Florida, one of the prisons out there in Florida. Spoke with I think it was a DA from Florida, the top DA, top DAs from Florida. Spoke with this DA and offered up a lot of information, right? She said yes, Trump was friends with her ex, and seen him a lot, right? And seen him and stuff, but never when the situation about the underage girls was mentioned, she said Trump was nowhere around. He had nothing to do with that. That's what she said coming out her mouth. He was convicted for trafficking as well. So she's saying Trump was friends with him, but she said that Trump don't have nothing to do with the underage girls. But why Trump ain't saying nothing about it? You got to clear your name, man. If people trying to attach pedophilia to your name, right? Excuse me, the P word. The P word to your name, you're supposed to come out and say, no, that's not me. You know that's not you. You don't mess around like that. No conduct yourself in no type of activities. You're supposed to speak up for yourself. I know damn well somebody trying to accuse me of some stuff. I don't have to be quiet. Well, is it true to a certain degree? You gonna be quiet? It's only so long you gonna be quiet about something, man. If stuff really starts surfacing, making you like a clown or something like that, like really like demolishing your image or something. You gotta speak up about that. Yeah, you gotta speak up about that, man. So right now, I believe Trump is made to make a public announcement about, or a news conference or whatever, about his involvement. I think he set a date to speak about that, about his involvement with Epstein. Finally, has mentioned something about he's going to speak about his involvement, his friendship, just so he can get the media off his back. I forget when it's set to go for, but I believe I heard something about that media that he's supposed to speak about it, finally speak about his involvement with Epstein, because they've been there's been a lot of stuff going on with them files, them cases. They floating with stuff, certain people getting their hands on them, and the stuff is getting exposed. And yeah, he's going to have to talk about this stuff and floating around, with certain officials getting their hand, federal officials getting their hands on stuff, and stuff been getting put out there, more for the media to see. You know what I mean? So he's going to have to speak about it, especially with Epstein's ex-girlfriend running her mouth and stuff about different stuff. She got switched from a prison in Florida, and now she's in I think a maximum security in Texas now. I can't think of her name. Maxine or something like that. I can't think of her name. But yeah, blocked by courts. Yeah, they are. Even presidential, orders can be blocked by courts, man. You're right about that. You're right about that. Congress can block them. They need, highest, court in the land is obviously the U.S. Supreme Court. You got Congress who pass laws and stuff like that. Yeah, he can get blocked. Yeah, I mean, all he gonna do, he can get blocked by some kind of a, state, federal court. All he gonna do is keep taking it to the next level, the next level, the next level. But so U.S. Supreme Court block his law, it ain't going through. The Congress block his law, with a lot of high-ranking freaking Republicans are at, and high-ranking Democrats and stuff like that. A lot of high political figures who pass those laws for the last stage before they get passed off for the president to sign off on the law. If they dismiss it, it ain't going through with certain with a lot of laws. So yeah, he need the Congress approval for the majority of it. Some things he can do an executive order on off his own discretion according to what's going on within the circumstances, whatever situation may be occurring. But for the most part, he needs the congressional approval for things in order to implement his authority as a president, implement laws. Yeah, I've seen many laws. Just reverse. The only thing I seen, for the most part, I didn't see the higher courts like the district, probably certain U.S. Supreme Court. I didn't see them be with Trump. I didn't see on certain cases. I didn't see certain district courts, U.S. district courts and stuff in favor of Trump, appeals courts and stuff like that. A lot of some of these state federal courts, I didn't see them oppose Trump though, but he'll keep taking this to the next level over and over again. Okay, you don't want to grant my wish. I'm gonna take it to the appeals court. But right now, like I said, birthright citizenship is still in court right now. That's still in court. Oh, also, you got a lot of different legal defense like advocates that are fighting for the different groups, different advocate groups for immigration. They fighting. They're joining in on that lawsuit that's in court against the birthright citizenship right now against Trump. That federal lawsuit right now, right? But yeah, ICE, the situation of ICE, right? They're talking about deploying the troops back home. They're going to be sending the troops back home to their original bases soon. Except for the Marines, or I think the Marines. I think they said except for the Marines, if I'm not mistaken, 300 Marines is going to be left out here, or 300 troops, or something like that. But majority of the troops that are out here, National Guard, are going to get sent back, and I think it's like over 3,000 of them out here. Majority of them are going to get sent back, except for like 300 remaining. Continue to protect, the freaking the federal buildings out here, the city hall, and all other type of federal properties and stuff. That's what they're going to be doing. Epstein, he's a piece of crap, from my understanding. He was utilizing his power. He even messed with somebody who, some couple's daughter who had like a little money influence, right? He even messed with their daughter. That was a wrap. As soon as he messed with their daughter, they hurry up. They hurry up and filed against him. And that was his first case. Some well-off couple with had a lot of money, messed with their underage daughter, and then they that's what got him first. That first case. She was at his house or something like that. I don't know all the circumstances, but he's a piece of crap, man. He got caught up for that twice. He got 2 of those charges. Not 1, even that's bad enough, but 2. 2 of those charges he got caught up for. And allegedly he committed suicide while in federal custody in 2018. I think they did an investigation about his suicide investigation, right? And said it could have been some foul play or something like that. Yeah, look that up too. It could have been some foul play involved with his alleged suicide. I'm in downtown Los Angeles right now. Where you at, man? What city are you hailing from right now? What you repping, man? What city you repping? State, city, or country you coming out of? But yeah, they're going to be deploying the majority of troops out here. I don't know when exactly that's taking place, but they're going to be deploying the troops back home to their original bases. So it's only going to be like 300 troops left out here to protect the federal buildings and personnel and all that stuff. And give me a like if you like what I'm talking about, man. Bring my likes up, man. Got 7 people. Bring my likes up. I'm talking about some, constructive stuff in here for the most part. Subscribe to the channel because I will be talking more about politics. I will be making it very clear and presentable. I put a lot of research into this stuff. I always make it very clear and I give everybody a chance to elaborate on what they think. Answer as much questions as I can about these different politics. You can be whatever side you want. I'm not biased towards that, whatever. You have a right to feel how you want to feel. Long as you come up here with some BS, some weird stuff, there ain't no problem. You know what I mean? Some obvious BS or whatever, disrespectful stuff. I'm not tripping. Everybody has a right to feel however they want to feel about whatever topic, or political agenda that they are pushing. You from Gardena out here? You from LA County? You say you in Germany right now? That's what some houses like there in Germany. Houses like there in Germany, but what else I was talking about? I slipped my mind. Man. I was gonna talk about something else, man. I was gonna talk about something else, man. It was something within the immigration enforcement. Something I cannot remember exactly. Do y'all feel? Damn, there was something I can't remember. It touched my mind on it. I was gonna talk about something. Yeah, it's about the lawsuit that's going on right now, still with the immigration. ICE versus the LA City, with Trump and ICE versus LAC. It's still a lawsuit going on in the courts right now, right? Basically, it's within the federal one of the federal judges from these different. Basically, they commented on it. Yeah, one of the federal judges of the state commented on it. Something made some kind of a written statement about it, something like that, saying that he felt like just with the situation with the raids going on out here, he felt like that wasn't enough of a legal discretion for Trump to deploy the troops in regards to the raids that was going on out here, at that time, about like a month and two back. He felt like that wasn't enough of a legal discretion for Trump to utilize federal laws and stuff in order to deploy troops out here, on domestic, U.S. soil in order to take control of a domestic, situation that was within, freaking Los Angeles City. One of the federal judges said he felt like that wasn't a good enough, basically, discretion for that. He was against that, basically. He felt like other things could have been done to resolve the issue instead of deploying a bunch of troops out here to take care of a domestic problem like that. That's what I last heard about the case. The case for the ICE immigration and Trump versus the LA City for that that lawsuit about deploying troops and all that. California. I think that was because what's his name, Newsom. He filed a lawsuit too, not just LA City, also Newsom. I think that was that was a Newsom lawsuit. Newsom, he's been at odds with Trump as well. But yeah, that's what the federal judge said on a Newsom case against ICE and Trump. Yeah, that was the word on that one with the governor's lawsuit. I'm gonna be on here for 5 more minutes, y'all. Probably like 15 more minutes. Probably like 15 more minutes, man. What do y'all think about who do y'all think? Y'all say this, man. Who y'all think a better rapper is? Tupac or Drake, man? Tupac or Drake? Who y'all think a better rapper is? I've been thinking about this in my mind. Y'all can have different reasons on why y'all think like Drake might be better than Tupac. But he's obviously influenced by Tupac to a certain degree. But as far as like different aspects, whatever you want to base it on, who you think the better rapper is? I'm talking about culturally wise, all that, not just lyrically. Punchlines, like that, the energy, the realness, the authenticity. Who do y'all think the better rapper is between Drake and Tupac? Cost of living is very low in LA. I was struggling to pay. Oh yeah, it's high out here, man. It's still going up. It ain't stopped yet. Cost of living in LA is still going up. That's why we got a high, homeless epidemic out here. A high homeless epidemic still. It's just starting to decrease in small percentages within the LA County. We got probably a little over 10 million people in LA County alone, and about 4 million people, close to 4 million people in the city of LA. There's been a small drop of percentage in homelessness in the city of LA, and also there's been a small drop of percentage in the LA County as well. So they've been doing their job. Like I said, they just established some kind of a centralized call-in center where they grab a lot of different emergency teams and stuff, right, that help with type of emergency situations in LA County, and they put them all together underneath one roof. And they call this some kind of centralized emergency response center or something like that. They just established this within the last 2 months. Now anybody can call. They want to call about a homeless person they feel like that are needing some immediate assistance. They can call a centralized response homeless center, and they can give them information about this homeless person, and then the people within this centralized unit, they can provide, they can try to get in touch with that homeless individual, right, and provide them with as much homeless resources as possible. And they don't close it. Once they do that, they open up a case, right? They have a case now. They take care of that homeless person. They didn't brief on this homeless person. They locate them. They found them. Now they trying to give this homeless person as many resources as possible. They don't close the case. It can be ongoing into whenever they find that, resources for that homeless person that needs it. So that's the benefit about the centralized emergency response center, is that the cases don't close. They do not close the case until that homeless person get their assistance. That's the thing about the centralized, homeless center. They working and working and working. From my understanding, they working a lot of hours. They probably, like I said, they got like over 100 response teams, like different response teams with different companies that all come underneath one roof. So they swapping out with different shifts and all kind of stuff. I got it going all throughout the night, 24 hours, something like that's big. That's something different. They never had that before. So they really trying to clean up the homeless problem here, because LA at the end of the day is a tourist attraction, will always be a tourist attraction, So they can have a big old homeless problem when you got people coming in from different cities, states, and all the countries, coming in encounter with, some of these homeless people, some of them crazy, some of them drugs. That makes us look bad. Like, you can't handle your homeless problems. Like, we're gonna stop going to LA like that. We're gonna start going to different parts of LA County because y'all can't handle your homeless problem out there. That look like a laughing stock. That looks embarrassing. So that's why they really been pressured to handle this homeless problem, consistently in the most effective way possible, as soon as possible. Freaking the judge. The last time I heard, I think it was the I don't know if it was the I think based off the LA City homeless problem alone or something like that. I think the judge, the superior, I think the Superior Court judge or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, took over control. One of the top Superior Court judges out here within the city, right? The LA City took control. Either it was over the county or it was in the city. Took control over the case with, wait a minute, hold on. It was something to do because, the city, receives, funds, federal funds from the state, right? In order to help, assist with, giving the homeless people their benefits to help accommodate them in, in everyday life. We get funds from the federal government, right? Allocated through the federal government. It's an agency they use that the federal government allocate these funds to this state agency.
You're small, kids.
And basically, the state agency sends the money through different counties throughout California, basically, to help with the homeless situations. So it's a state agency, on top of everything, which holds these federal funds. These federal funds are used for all kinds of different purposes. I'm talking about, but these federal funds that come from the state agency, which is, where the money is allocated from the federal state government, from the U.S. government, right, to the state agency, and a percentage of that money is used to help out homeless situations, and it's distributed throughout the state to different counties throughout the state of California, and as well as to the local governments as well, different cities, to help homeless situations here. So we have a deadline that was set by the court. I believe the county superior court of the city or of the county, to reach these deadlines that's been put on, that's been put on the city to reach these deadlines in order to basically resolve these homeless problems. They got deadlines set up right now by the court. The court has taken control over how the money is spent, how these federal funds are spent for the homeless problems. The courts took control of that. The city doesn't have full control of that anymore. The court has control of that now. These are federal funds coming from the U.S. government. So the courts out here in California, specifically I'm gonna say LA County, I don't know what's going on throughout the whole state like that, but in LA County specifically, the court, the highest court out here, has took over the funds, right? How it was spent towards, resolving this homeless epidemic. So the city doesn't have control of the homeless funds anymore, which comes from the federal government. That's how bad it got, because money was it wasn't being used right. It was being spent for other different things in the city or throughout the county and stuff. Money was supposed to be spent on certain homeless programs and stuff, right? It was getting spent on infrastructure. It was getting spent on probably people going out club night and drinking and stuff. We don't know, man. Lavish hotels, freaking resorts. We don't know how the money goes all getting spent, but they kept getting extended. The homeless problem kept getting worse and worse. And it's been like this for probably over a decade, man. The homeless problem out here. It kept worse and worse. It's just now starting to get a little bit better within the last, probably within the last 2 years. So the court had to take over the situation. The court has ownership over the federal funds that are used to help the homeless epidemic now, without a doubt. The city has either no control over how that's spent, or only a smaller percentage on how the federal homeless funds is used, to help resolve the homeless problem out here in LA County. Okay, dude. Syndrome Jesus, yeah, I'm getting you out of here. You're a weirdo, dude. You're a weirdo. I'm getting you out of here, man. You're a weirdo, dude. Why you come on here saying some stuff like that? Down syndrome, Why would you play with an illness like that? Not an illness, but a disability, right? And then say sick stuff with it. When people who have that disability really go through challenges and stuff, you just sick all the way around, man. I'm getting you out of here, Mr. Down Syndrome Jesus. And you'll put Jesus and play with Jesus too. You're a weirdo, man. I'm getting you out of here, man. You're a weirdo. What's going on, Kyla Jackson? What's going on? Selena, what's going on? Hey, go ahead and give me some likes. Push my likes up, man. If you like my lives so far, subscribe. I'm going to be talking more about politics, all kinds of different politics, all kinds of different stuff. I'm going to be doing everything. I'm trying to reach everything. This is a diverse channel. Me and my uncle, we're going to reach all kinds of stuff on here. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe. Leave a like, of course, and share this magnificent content, which keeps, re-innovating itself every day. And share my content to your fellow friends and associates. Let them get a taste of it as well. Let them indulge or whatever, But yeah, I'm about to leave in a minute. I'm about to bounce. I've been on here 40, almost 50 minutes. I'm out of here though. Make sure y'all subscribe, like I said, to my content. Check out my content. I got over 600 videos, almost over 200. I think almost 200,000 views on my content, and I'm still growing. Share it, and like it as well. I'm out. I'll be back soon. Stay in the loop. Westside for life. I'm out.